Hey, I'm Nikki. I'm the author of Chicken Keeping Pure and Simple, and I run the social media channels Purely Chickens here on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Oh, and Facebook too. Today we're going to be talking about trimming a chicken's flight feathers on their wings so they can't fly. I'll talk about the pros and the cons, and I'll show you how to do it. Before we do that though, I have to go get my goats because they're super loud and that's all I can hear in the background. So let's go let them out. My goats get super crazy when they can hear me or see me in the backyard, and all they want is to come out and eat all of these weeds. Everybody out. Come on. Everybody out. Come on, Dusty. There you go. They got the goats. They're gonna destroy the landscaping while we do this, but let's talk about clipping chicken wings, not the buffalo kind. Clipping chicken wings, or the flight feathers on a chicken wing, is the process of just trimming the feathers that they use to get air. That way they can't fly. There's a specific way to do this, which I'll show you here in a bit. No, it does not hurt the chickens. It's just kind of like trimming your hair. You just want to make sure that you're trimming the feathers when they're fully grown. That way you're not nicking any blood supply. My goats are eating my notes. So when do we need to clip flight feathers? Well, if your chickens are secure in a coop and in a run and there's nowhere for them to go, then you probably don't need to do this. Or if you have chickens who free range, you probably don't need to clip their flight feathers. In fact, I would encourage you not to clip the flight feathers unless absolutely necessary. If they're free ranging, having that ability to gain some flight is helpful when they're trying to get away from a predator. One reason you may want to clip flight feathers is if you have chickens inside a fence area. If you're trying to keep those chickens inside a fence because there are dangers on the other side of the fence, then you probably want to clip their flight feathers, especially if they are a more flighty bird. I have a chicken coop, I have a run that's secure, but my run opens up to a fence area and the fence is only 4 foot high. There's a lot of tree coverage in there, so for the most part, my chickens like to stay under those trees and not go over the fence because they're safer in there. Also, my rooster's too big to hop that fence, and my ladies prefer to stay with him because he is their protection. I do have 2 chickens who hop the fence on a daily basis. Those 2 chickens do tend to be a little bit more slender and they have a little bit more flight to them. We call them flighty chickens. Today I'm going to clip their feathers for tutorial purposes and also so I can keep them inside my fence. If you have chickens who are jumping down from the roosting bars instead of using a ladder, they use their flight feathers to help them kind of glide down safely. So another reason not to clip them. But in this case, I'm more worried about my 2 chickens jumping this fence than I am them getting down from the roost. How often do you have to clip feathers? After chickens are 1.5 years old, they're gonna molt every single fall, and they'll probably grow new flight feathers, and the old ones that you clipped will fall out. So you're gonna have to do it every year if you wanna keep them in the fence. I'll link my molting video down below so you can learn all about that if it's something new to you. Like I said before, it doesn't hurt them, they don't feel it, it's okay. It's fairly easy to do. I'm gonna grab my husband and we're gonna show you. This is what a chicken wing looks like when it's spread out. Those 10 feathers that are really long, those are called the primary feathers. Those are the flight feathers that we're going to trim today. There's 10 of them. And the ones above that, where the arrow is pointing now, those are the covert feathers. We're going to use those as a guideline of where to cut. So we're going to leave those ones intact, but cut the primary feathers right below the line of that spot. All right, so I'm giving my husband the scissors here. I'm trusting him to be careful. Just kidding. These feathers are full grown, so it doesn't hurt the chicken. There's no blood supply here. It's kind of just like trimming your hair. And he counted as he went, clipped the first 10, and she's good to go. We actually only trimmed 1 wing this time. You can do both, but usually just doing 1 works fine. And it kind of keeps them off balance so they can't fly. And that's all there is to it. All right, hopefully you guys got that explanation and it was fairly simple. I'm going to link my blog post about this down below so you can see pictures and diagrams more clearly. And that's it. Until next time, keep chicken keeping pure and simple.